Hi, my name's Sarah, and I'm here today from the Adjust for Me pillow company. I'm a co-founder to talk to you about sleep hygiene. People ask us all the time about ways to improve sleep beyond even having what we consider to be the best pillow on the market. So let's get to it. The first thing that we're going to talk about is scheduling it. It's really important to think about your body clock and your circadian rhythm in a 24-hour cycle. One of the best things that we can do to improve our sleep is to really try to set a time that we go to sleep and a time that we wake up all 7 days of the week. We don't want to do the kind of weekend, staying up late, getting up late, weekdays, getting up really early, taking naps in the late afternoon or evening, trying to do an earlier bedtime, kind of all over the place. The circadian rhythm is really run or programmed by a small nuclei in the middle of the brain, the SEN. It has a longer name, but I'm not going to bother saying it because nobody really cares. It's a very important process because it informs our body temperature, it informs our sleep and wakefulness, it also informs some of our hormonal changes in our body. So it's something that we can play with a little bit. One of the things that we recommend is making sure that you get some natural light a couple times a day. So the first time that I would have you do it is right in the morning when we have that good natural morning sunlight, even if you can go outside for 5 minutes. It's really important because that helps to inform that circadian rhythm. It's also great to get some late afternoon light. If you're tired, if you kind of want to grab that next cup of caffeine, if you're looking to go grab a cookie for that sugar boost, my recommendation is to try to get outside first and get some good sunlight because that can also help to regulate that clock. We also look at napping. There is another hormone in the body, a sleep hormone called adenosine, and it regulates our sleep pressure. Sleep pressure builds during our waking hours, and then the sleep hormone melatonin comes in when we have an introduction to darkness, and that helps us actually get to sleep. But if we've been building that adenosine throughout the day, and then we get to let's say 6 o'clock, 6:30, you've eaten, you're watching a show, you've dozed for 5 or 10 minutes. What you've done is you've decreased that sleep pressure so that then your body isn't able to get into those deep restorative levels of sleep later in the night. So if you can resist the urge to nap after 3 p.m., we highly recommend it. Another thing we'd say about napping, it can be great to do a power nap during the day if you have time and space to do that. Working from home these days, a lot of people do have the space to do a little recharge or a reset in the middle of the day. We would say either a 30-minute nap or a 90-minute nap. We don't want to do something in the kind of in-between space around an hour because what's happened to your body is you've gone into those deep levels of sleep and it's much harder to recover. So just something to keep in mind. Another thing we're looking at is temperature. We want to keep it cool. A lot of people will say that they really can't sleep in a hot room and they'd like for it to be cooler. Well, of course, because as we're moving into deeper sleep, the body's naturally going to be cooling, and we want to support that. So we want an ideal room temperature of 60 to 67 degrees. For our little ones, it's a little bit warmer, more like 70 to 72 Fahrenheit because they often will not keep their blankets on. So we want to keep their bodies warm. But during REM sleep, which is really interesting, so we go through cycles all throughout the night. And we do about 90 minutes of non-REM sleep where we're in light levels of sleep, and then we go into a deeper restorative sleep in the non-REM phase. During that time, our body regulation is happening. But when we go into REM sleep, which starts at about 10 minutes of sleep after we go through that non-REM 90 minutes, that's when we have that rapid eye movement. That's what REM stands for. And our bodies go into a bit of a muscular paralysis so that we can't act out our dreams. And during that time, our temperature regulating actually shuts off. So if your room is too hot, at that point, you're going to be more prone to start sweating and to get uncomfortable. And that's when you're going to get woken up and you're going to become, in a fragmented sleep state. So we want to really work to keep your sleep sanctuary or your sleep environment conducive to great sleep. In the morning hours, your body naturally starts to warm up a little bit as you get ready for waking. So don't be surprised if you wake up between 2 and 4 a.m. and you're much chillier than you are when you wake up at a normal morning time. Park your screens outside. So this is one that a lot of people don't like to hear, but it's great to keep your phone outside of your room. Your phone, your tablet, all the things that emit blue light. We know from all the research that blue light, which is from all of our devices, it's that flickering blue light. Even if we've turned the light really low, even if we've put on our blue light blockers, we know that it inhibits the ability to produce melatonin naturally. So we recommend doing a power down hour before bed. So separating yourself out from any blue light emitting device and giving yourself an opportunity to be in a calmer, quieter environment. Reading, if you're going to be reading, it's a wonderful natural sedative before sleep, but we want to try to read an actual paper book. I know, dark ages, but I do love a paper book. Read a paper book, or if you're going to be reading from a device, turn off the backlight, and if hopefully you have a paper white option, so you don't have that blue light informing your brain. Because what that does is it increases the cortisol production, which is a stress hormone, but it's also a waking hormone. And it inhibits the ability again for your body to produce melatonin. So the way that we get that melatonin moving is by sleeping in a dark space. The other reason I suggest keeping your phone outside of your room is so that if you do wake up in the night and you're just dying to look, right? You just want to scroll at one thing. You just want to look at one, that one email or that one text that came in. The second your eyes see that light, what it does is it starts the waking process. So hormonally, you're going to have a much harder time getting back to sleep, and you're going to have a really difficult time getting into any deeper level of sleep from that point. So resist the temptation, keep your phones outside, buy a cheap battery operated alarm clock, set it on your nightstand. I would get one that doesn't have any lights on it. And then if you need to see what time it is, just press the button and take a quick peek, but the less light, the better. Number 4, sleep robbers, alcohol and caffeine. I know nobody likes to hear it, but it's really true. So we know that interrupted sleep it's not good, right? I mean, we're not able to get into those. And what interrupted sleep really means is sometimes not even that you're coming all the way to a full waking state. So you think you slept through the night, but you wake up the next day and you're not refreshed, right? You're still tired. You didn't sleep well. You didn't get into that deep sleep. And 2 of the biggest culprits here are alcohol and caffeine. So we cycle about every 90 minutes through that non-REM, like I talked about, and then we do about a 10-minute cycle of REM sleep. But in the deep sleep in non-REM and the deep sleep in REM sleep, they're very restorative. We have cellular repair, immune system repair, circulatory system improvement. I mean, memory consolidation, you name it, it's happening during that deep sleep. Well, with alcohol, what we find is that people will fall asleep fairly easily because it does act as a sedative, but then it causes you to stay in those lighter levels of sleep all throughout the night. You don't get to go into that deep restorative sleep. It really has a negative effect on our overall longevity. So I would say pick and choose that when you really are going to drink, because even 1 glass of wine has been shown in the laboratory to shift the quality of your sleep. Caffeine, same thing. The way caffeine works, it's an oh my God, I just forgot how you say the word. Adenosine, I don't know, adenosine, that's how you say it. It's an adenosine blocker. So and that's that hormone that kind of makes you, like when you feel tired, that's what you're experiencing. So caffeine just blocks the production of it. And what it does is it interrupts that whole cycle that we were talking about earlier in the circadian rhythm. The half-life of caffeine, hold on to your boots, 5 to 6 hours. So if you have a cup of coffee at 3 p.m., 5 hours later, half of that caffeine is still fully active in your body. So even though you think like caffeine doesn't bother me, I can go to sleep no problem. Well, you might be able to, but what's happening is that you're not then going into the deep restorative levels of sleep. So be mindful before you pick up that next cup. Number 5, avoid late night workouts. So we really want to make sure we're not working out and getting our heart rates up in that 2 to 3 hours before bed. What it does is it stimulates the nervous system, it increases the heart rate, it gets everything moving, increases our cortisol rates, makes it pretty tough to get down. Bath before bed. So a lot of people think that a bath is going to raise your core temperature and then you're going to feel really hot when you're sleeping. It actually works in the opposite direction, which I think is totally fascinating because you feel so hot after you take a bath. But what happens is when you get out of the bath, your body goes through a rapid cooling process and you actually rapidly decrease your core body temperature naturally to really set the stage for a good night of sleep. So if you're inclined to take baths, I recommend including some essential oils and doing that way to help set the stage for a good night of sleep. Eat light, eat early. So we all have heard this, right? Don't eat a big rich meal right before you go to bed. Acid reflux, heartburn, indigestion. It really is hard on your digestive system. And your digestive system really gets to do its best work while you're in those deep levels of sleep, right? So that's when we're really processing, we're really removing, we're really working to get everything moving so that we can move well. So we really don't want to be eating those high sugar, high saturated fat kind of foods in the last couple of hours before bed. We do recommend, however, that you do a snack in the 60 to 90 minutes before you go to sleep, a high quality carbohydrate, so whole grain, high quality carbohydrate with 30% protein. So it could be like an almond cracker with some peanut butter or a slice of cheese, something like that, just to stabilize your blood sugar. Because when we're sleeping, in REM sleep, we actually burn more glucose than we do in a waking state. So we are really using that glucose throughout the night. We want to stabilize our blood sugars so that we don't have those cortisol spikes that are associated with hunger. So I think that's really fascinating. One of the things that they recommend, or that we have found out in the research, is that a teaspoon of honey, raw honey before bed, can be really stabilizing because it's not very easy to digest and it'll kind of stick with you throughout the night. So who knew? Teaspoon of honey. It's not sugar. I would go for raw honey. Set the space. So, and I'm speaking kind of quickly because I know we all have pretty small attention spans, and I just want to get through this. I want to talk to you a little bit about our pillow, and I want to offer just a little bit of value to help improve your overall sleep. So setting the space, let's think about our bedrooms as a sleep sanctuary. We really want to use this space for only a couple of things: sleeping, intimacy with a partner, relaxation, right? We don't want to bring our work into bed. We don't want to bring our stress and anxiety into the bedroom. So clutter-free. It's great to have a clutter-free, work-free, stress-free zone for your bedroom. Make it beautiful. Make it a space that you feel comfortable in. Remove those piles of clutter. Get that stuff out of the way. You don't want to bring a stressful project into your bedroom and set it on your nightstand after you've been working on it in bed, because it's going to be with you all night. People have asked about strategies to work with anxiety going into bed. I love a quick brain dump. Bring a pad of paper and a pen to your bed and just think everything that's on your mind, just scribble it down, write it down, write it down, and then get rid of it. Take it out of the room, leave it for tomorrow. Tonight is for sleeping. Melatonin production, it only happens when we are in a truly dark setting. So I recommend that people get their rooms extra dark. So dark that you cannot see your hand in front of your face. That's perfect. If you need to get up and go to the bathroom during the night, try not to turn on the light. Obviously, we want you to do this safely, but we also don't want to start that cortisol production. So melatonin, we all produce it naturally. We don't need to take a supplement, as long as we are following a lot of the guidelines that I've been talking about, and also giving ourselves time and space to be able to power down, to get into a dark space, to get into a restful space, and getting ready for bed. Sleep position, your pillow is definitely a bed for your head. So we're going to talk about that in a minute when we get to the Adjust For Me pillow. It's really important. Your comfort and the fact that your body is truly supported goes a long way in improving the quality of your sleep. I recommend covering your clock. You know what? If you have anxiety about the fact that you're not getting enough sleep or you're not sleeping well enough, and you wake up in the middle of the night and you look at what time it is, it's only going to increase that. So cover your clock. There's no need to know, right? We can return to some simple breathing exercises. I love box breathing, where you breathe in for the count of 3 or 4, whatever you're comfortable with. You hold your breath for 3, 4, 5, 6 counts, whatever you're comfortable with. You breathe out slowly. So I'm just tracing the edges of the box out for 4, 5, 6 breaths, and then you hold it for another 2, 3, 4, and you're counting the whole time. That's a distraction for your brain, but think of what the breath does. It's also a real signal to the brain that it's okay to let go. So I recommend trying some very simple relaxation strategies around that. Essential oils are great. I don't know if you work with them, but I particularly love the doTERRA brand. They have some extremely high quality oils, and they really do make a difference. You can diffuse them in the space. You can rub them on your feet, on your spine. It's a way to kind of train your neurological system that you're moving into sleep and that it's time to unwind. It's time to relax. You can use those in the bath too. I think I mentioned that earlier. So those are some of my recommendations for a sleep sanctuary. Obviously, you know what you like. I would say just do more of it. Wear comfortable pajamas. Make sure you have sheets that you like, that keep you comfortable. That I wouldn't work with any sort of gimmicky chemical filled sheets. They really don't work in terms of keeping you cool. We at the adJust For Me pillow, we use 100% organic cotton. It's the fibers are very naturally cooling, and the pillow itself is made from 100% natural latex, poured straight from the tree, which is, it's a very cool sleep space naturally. We don't have to add any chemicals or any hormone disruptors or anything that's going to be, you know, gross and toxic for you to be breathing during your 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night. So this is the adJust For Me pillow, and I'd love for you to just feel free to go to our website. It's just adjustformepillow.com. And I speak so quickly. Let me just say that more slowly. adjustformepillow.com. And this is a pillow that we have developed, which is, it's a patent pending product, which is an ideal side sleeping pillow. So we know that 70% of adults would prefer to sleep on their sides, but a lot of times people are not comfortable. What we find is that the common pillow scrunches up, it sinks down, the shoulder gets scrunched, the neck hurts, the back hurts, the hips hurt. You know, we have a hard time getting into a really comfortable position. What the adJust For Me pillow does is it adjusts by layers of natural latex, like I said, 100% natural latex. So it comes with 2 of the 1-inch layers and 1 of the 2-inch layers. The covers are removable. They're made out of 100% organic cotton. You can wash them. And that natural latex is very soft. It's very soft on your ear. It's not hard like a memory foam and uncomfortable, where you wake up in the morning and it just feels like you've been sleeping on a hard surface, but it's supportive. It holds its shape. So where you go to sleep is where you wake up. And that's really important, because a lot of the adjustable pillows on the market are made with shredded foam. So you can pull some of it out, you can start in the right position, and then by the morning, this is what has happened. Well, look what happens to my neck, right? Or some of the memory foam pillows that are formed and you can't adjust, you know, you start out like this, you're way tipped high, and that really affects your cervical vertebra. So we've created this solution. You just tuck your shoulder right into that little curve that you can see here, and you have a natural support all throughout the night from side to side as you're moving. And, you know, for people who have sleep apnea and really need to stay on their sides for proper breathing posture, it's really great for your respiratory system. It's absolutely, from a health stance, the absolute best position that you can sleep in. It's best for your cardiovascular system. It's best for your respiratory system. It's best for your skeletal system, your musculoskeletal system. So, but we want to be doing it supported in the right positioning. So I actually have a promo code on here that is from a different talk that I gave earlier today, actually. So I'm going to let you know the promo code that we're using right now from this YouTube video is actually Sleep Hygiene 10. It's SleepHygiene 10, all in capital letters. And if you use that code, when you go to our website, you can get 10% off of the pillow, which is really awesome. And you actually can't get that anywhere else. We don't offer any other promo codes except for through that Zen and Z's, which is a 1-week sleep challenge that I'm part of. But it's a great opportunity to try it. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee. It's completely risk-free. You can learn everything and more than you ever wanted to know about this pillow and about side sleeping on our website. So hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope you've learned a little bit about how to kind of clean up some of your sleep hygiene so that you can improve your sleep. And if you have any questions, please don't ever hesitate to email us. All the information is on the website. Happy to share. So anyway, I just hope you sleep well, and that's that.